watch this, but first I'm gonna grab me a quick bite of something.
And I got a rose that's in the grove that I ain't drove shit. I don't know the reason. 3 or 5. Underlay, revive. Me and J Bappin' on G5. Success is a drug hand, man, we high. I am mother is a beehive. I got love for you haters. Ain't you tired of enslaving? Come with us, make some paper. Shame, cause you should own what you label.
Yeah, you never stayed in Kahlua. I put Chanel on my shooter. Flooded my chain and Gucci. I don't want that girl, she moody. I'm basically saying I'm cooler. Get Dior discounts for my cougar. Back in the 6th grade, I got them bad grades. I was in love with my tutor.
See, musically, look who she trapping, man. Most of you rappers be actors, man.
Go MIA when I find little Madison. Stay at the Ritz Club, then it's not the Radisson. Blue, I'm about to take the red pill. Purple thoughts in my brain, hope it don't spill. Stay with a nerd, just like, hey, what you live? Fresh is like Compton, I kill him with will. Big ass R on my Smiths. Big ass R on my whips. Slip on shoes so you won't trip. Say she kinda fine and she got some hips. Mama said, let me see the witch. Boy, you know, light and dark don't mix. Mix it up, boy, bad luck. Sick to my stomach with them neon guts.
Higher than Elon Musk. So hot, stars and dust. And I got a colorful aura, like I got neon guts. Dark energy we don't touch. All jewelry's neon touch. And they give a nigga colorful aura, like I got neon guts.
Higher than Elon Musk. So high, stars and dust.
to sacrifice too much to make
I'm
this
always
form
hungry.
factor happen. So
What we
Snapdragon
eating?
55 Plus, 512 gigs of UFS 3.0 storage, 12 gigs of RAM, and a 4,050 milliamp hour battery.
128 gigabytes of
If
RAM?
anything, you maybe
Holy
wanna see the
shit!
battery even bigger, but a lot of that space, as you can tell, is going to be taken up by the screen wrapping around inside the phone. And it does have 40-watt fast charging, which I will definitely get back to in a second. So clearly the focal point of the phone here is this screen. I mean, just imagine seeing someone in person using this display where you can see it from the front, from the side,
That is dope.
and from the back. This is a 2088 by 2250 OLED display with a very thin top and bottom bezels that wrap around to meet the camera strip at the back, which is what I'll call it. This houses a couple of things, including the 108 megapixel primary camera, the 20 megapixel ultra wide with macro capabilities, and the 12 megapixel telephoto camera and dual.
Oh, let me check the
This
bank
one
account.
has
Oh,
an
shit, here we
in-display
go.
fingerprint reader, impressively, and it's
Yeah, I should have my credit
enabled.
card on Friday,
There's a
baby.
whole bunch of optimizations in Xiaomi's MIUI alpha software, like the battery and status bar icons and notification counter are on the side of the phone here instead of at the top. So it kind of cleans up the top to just be a notification pull down and not have to display all that stuff all the time, which is kind of neat. And it's also just like crazy, no matter what angle you look at it, it just doesn't look right. Like, it doesn't look like a real phone. It looks futuristic before you even think about any of the sort of practicality trade-offs. Also, I told you I would mention the charging again. I think probably the coolest part of having a wraparound screen like this is the charging animation. So go ahead and plug this phone in with the screen off, and the whole thing lights up and animates the battery starting to fill up the whole thing.
Okay, that's
like
cool.
Like liquid power flowing into the phone.
That's pretty cool.
I love this, and it doesn't stay on the whole time you're charging. That'd be kind of annoying at night, but it is pretty damn cool, you got to admit. And notifications will also do the same thing. They'll sort of glow all the way around the screen, which is super cool. So, seeing this phone on video is pretty sweet, and that's one thing, but actually holding it in person and considering using it is a total different thing, and it brings up a lot of questions. So now that I've actually held it and sort of used it, I'm here to answer those questions. So first off, number one, just what does it feel like to hold and use? And so to that I'll say, like I mentioned earlier,
Bank account said Little
what's
Caesars
funny is
pizza.
it isn't as slippery as some of those other
That's
glass
fine, baby. If you
phones.
don't feel
It
like
seems
cooking,
my
that's
finger
fine.
is grippy with
Pep
certain
only.
parts better
No
than it is with
bullshit.
some other
Pepper
material.
sausage.
And just overall, it
No
feels
with your
like
groovy ass
you're
pizzas.
holding all screen. So the immersion factor is very real. And then you might be wondering, hey, wait a second, where are the speaker and the selfie camera?
Can you get like lemonade while you're out
Great
too?
question. Two different answers. So there's a
Lemonade or
speaker
like
at the
an
bottom of the
iced
device
tea?
still. But for your phone calls, that earpiece is replaced by an electromagnetic speaker. Basically, that's vibrating through the glass to create sound. We've seen this in previous Mi Mix phones. And there is no selfie
Thank you,
camera
my
at
love.
the top. Instead, when you hit the selfie button, you then flip around the screen to take a selfie with the main 108 megapixel camera. Now, weirdly, the selfie mode doesn't let you switch to ultra wide or do nearly as many things as the main camera modes, which is a bummer, but in theory, this whole flip action takes your selfies to the next level because they're coming from the high-end main camera. So, all right then.
That's
How
pretty
good
dope.
Are those virtual?
Do you
side
think one
buttons
pizza is enough?
on
Yeah,
the
that's
screen?
enough.
Okay.
Are you getting crazy, Brad?
It's a prototype, but they're pretty bad. I mean, the idea is fine in theory. So there's a power button and a volume button on the right-hand side of the screen on the side, and when you hit that volume button and you get it just right while it's rejecting the palm touch all over the rest of the screen, but it's realizing that you hit the volume button, it pops up this slider, and then you can adjust the volume on the front, no problem, by sliding. But it really only works for me sometimes. Like,
That's
maybe
perfect,
there's
and
a trick to
my
holding
love,
it
that is
just
perfect.
right, where you learn over time how to get familiar with the palm rejection, whatever it is. But I didn't arrive at this, so this was a bummer. But then there's the power button on the side that literally just puts it to sleep. That one worked more often for me, which is nice. And there's also still a physical circular power button at the top of the phone for sleep-wake. That one always works, but it's also more of a reach since it's way up at the top of the phone. Okay, so how good is the palm rejection?
I like the
recognition
versatility
on a
of
crazy
this
screen
phone.
like this. It's hit or miss, as you might expect. So Xiaomi dropped off a little info sheet with this phone, and on it they say they're using a combination of accelerometers, gyroscopes, pressure sensors, and software algorithms to be able to tell when you're holding it versus when you're actually using it and to properly do palm rejection. To me, this seems like the biggest challenge for a phone with a wraparound screen. There were definitely times that it impressively worked just fine, but I also, in tons of other times using the phone, had tons of accidental presses, not including that software volume button. So it's hit or miss, it's impressive when it works, but it's really annoying when it doesn't. And then, what's the back display even good for? What's the point? Well, they've so far come up with a couple cool things. That number one is the charging animation that I told you guys about already. I think that's pretty sweet, maybe the number one cool factor. And then there's the fact that it takes the stuff from up in the top bar where it typically is and puts it on the sides to keep the front looking even more clean at the top. That's all right. The camera viewfinder is also a legitimate benefit, so we've seen it before that using the main camera as your selfie camera typically gives you better selfies, so you still get that benefit. And then there's the special software mode where it detects when you flip over the phone, and it activates this panel with some widgets that are a sort of a quick access type of thing.
That's cool.
So there's a timer in there.
I like
the
that.
weather, stuff like that.
Have you seen who I? No, I haven't seen that yet either. If you want to send it to me, send it to me.
Like that's mainly it. It's pretty sweet to look at. Oh, also another question: is there a case for it? Yes, there is. I forgot to take video of it, but I can show you this photo. It literally only has a camera strip to anchor on, and then it sort of protects the outside, but not really. I don't even know why you would put this phone in a case, to be honest. Just accept that you have a super delicate phone.
I would honestly just accept the fact that that case shouldn't, that there shouldn't be in there.
But just like when you're working with a prototype, you naturally find a lot of things that could be improved, and this was the biggest illusion breaker of the whole thing was the edges of the display. So right at the apex of those sides, where it's rounding over the side, there's a gap in the cover glass. So it's not all one curved piece of glass. There's actually three pieces
I see that
sort of connect together. But when you run your finger over that apex, you can feel it, so it's not perfectly smooth. And then from certain angles, it even catches the light and rainbows a bit, and you can really see it. So that definitely takes away from the wraparound display illusion. Okay. There's also a fair bit of yellowing at the very edges that you can sometimes notice if you're looking for it. The
all right, Dr. T, that's next.
And also, this sucker wobbles like crazy on a desk, but that's, I guess, unavoidable. There's no other place for it to lie flat. The camera bump is literally just a stripe down the middle. Overall, though, I gotta say, I'm very impressed by this functional prototype. A lot of the numbers on paper, I don't know if I can really give them full credit. Like, they say it's a 180.6% screen to body ratio, but there's still bezels at the top and the bottom, 2.15 millimeters to be exact. So I don't know if just because you wrap it around the sides, you can say it's over 100% screen to body ratio. And also what's funny is on paper, this spec sheet again, they mention, they say it's a 7.9 inch diagonal screen, but it's not that big. They're measuring it from around the back corner to corner of the display, but really it's more like the size of a Pixel 4 or an iPhone 11 Pro Max. But yeah, that's about it. In this world where we have crazy concept cars, I'm glad that we also get to have these wild form over function concept smartphones, and maybe that idea turns into something someday. So let me know what you think of the wraparound display concept.
I like it.
In the comment section below. Would you grab something like this? Would you want a phone that's that crazy, or is this completely over the moon form over function, no reason to exist? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
What's up guys, Safi on Super Saf TV, and we've got a very special unboxing for you guys today. Here is the Huawei Mate XS.
Oh god, another foldable phone.
That would be appreciated. We heard about the Huawei Mate X.
Also recommend signing into Anchor. I'll do that later on tonight before I get off.
The Mate X, and we have here the Huawei Mate XS. Let's go ahead, get it unboxed, and take a detailed first look. So we've got a black box with the Huawei branding, Huawei Mate XS, as well as the Leica quad camera logo. Let's go ahead and open this up. Here we have it. Okay, we're gonna put the phone to the side for a second to see what else we get inside the box. Now everything is presented really nicely in smaller boxes. We've got some USB Type-C earphones, a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable, SIM card ejector tool with some paperwork, And finally, there's a 55-watt Huawei supercharger. Now, this is going to be able to charge the Huawei Mate XS from 0 to 85% in just 30 minutes. And you're also going to be able to use this charger to charge up things like your laptop because of the fact that it's got 55-watt charging. Absolutely
Okay.
awesome. Now let's take a look at the device, and here it is in its full glory. When it is completely folded out, we've got a massive 8-inch OLED display, and it looks really, really good. Now, when you fold it, you actually get two displays. You get the main outer display. This is around 6.6 inches, but then, as well as that, you then get a back display, which is around 6.3 inches. Now, Huawei have actually made a few improvements to this display compared to what we had on the Mate X. Let me run you through a few of these. So firstly, this is a quad layer display. So we've got a few different layers to make it protected. And also the crease is no longer as visible as it was on the Mate X. Now, Huawei are using an aerospace graded polymer. So this is still plastic based. And we're going to have to see in terms of the durability, of course, based on other foldable devices that we've seen, which normally have the folding element inside. This is more of an outie, so we've got the display on the outside when you're putting it in and out of your pockets. That's something that I am a little bit concerned about, but I can't really tell you as yet. I'm going to have to use this on a daily basis and see how that fares over time. But the improvements that Huawei have made should make this more durable compared to what we had on the Mate X. Now, if you look closely, you can see that there is a screen protector applied, so you can see the edges of it. This is not to be peeled off. Warning to everybody out there who's going to try to peel it off. Do not.
That's cool. It already comes with
One
one.
of the biggest
I
advantages
respect
that
it.
you get with a display like this, which kind of folds on the outside, is that when the device is closed, you've got a very usable 6.6-inch display. So you could very comfortably use this as a regular smartphone. But when you do want to experience that full tablet-sized device, then you can pop it out and you've got this full screen experience with no notch or no punch out or anything like that. Now, the hinge has also been improved, so we're getting a pretty much
I
flat
did turn my
display
Xbox
when it
on.
is completely out, and then it folds back on itself a full 180 degrees. Now, as well as that, we've got these two elements that are at the top and the bottom of the hinge area, and these will prevent any dust and debris getting into the display. Looks very promising. I honestly cannot wait to kind of put my SIM card into this and try using this on a daily basis. Now, another very interesting thing about the Mate XS is that we've got this sidebar here along the side, obviously, and this actually has a few different purposes. So firstly, it actually kind of acts as a bit of a handle, so you can hold the device when it's flat out with one hand.
Dr. T, what else you got for me? Anything else cool?
Importantly, it houses the quad camera setup, a flash, the button, which actually expands the device out, a volume rocker, as well as a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, which also doubles up as a power button. Now let's talk a little bit about these cameras. So these are quite similar to what we've got on the P30 Pro.
My baby Uber. What up, baby?
Megapixel camera with an f1.8.
Just looking at some interesting
This
tech.
is a super sensing camera. So instead of using red, green, and blue, it uses red, yellow, and blue. And this allows the sensor to capture a lot more light. Huawei, very big on low light photography. We then have a 16 megapixel ultra wide camera. This, of course, great if you want to get a lot.
Would you like to see a teardown of the Z Flip?
Give you up to 3 times optical zoom.
Yeah, let's see it. Link me.
Which uses a combination of optical and digital zoom, and it's also going to give you up to 30 times digital zoom. And finally, we have a time of flight sensor. This is going to help with depth information. Now, personally, for me, the most interesting thing about these cameras is that not only can they be used as rear-facing cameras, but they can also be used as front-facing cameras. Now, because the device folds back on itself, you can use the rear side of the display as a viewfinder for your selfies. And this means you're going to get much better quality selfies because you are using those rear-facing cameras as front-facing cameras, and you're also getting that flexibility of using multiple lenses. So you're going to be able to get ultra-wide selfies. You're also going to be able to use the time-of-flight sensor for your portrait selfies. Another interesting.
Also, would you like to see a computer powered by an S20? I seen that video, but I didn't get a chance to look at it. So yeah, link.
Then they're going to be able to see what they look like from this back display while you're taking that shot. So if you want to hand the device over to somebody and you want them to change the composition a little bit, you're going to be able to see that. So this is a very, very cool and interesting setup. If we take a quick look around the device, when the device is folded shut, thick, here you can see it in comparison to the Mate 30.
Phone's getting too crazy. Should have seen the phone we looked at beforehand. If you get a chance, go back and look at the VOD. Bro, tech is getting juicy. There's something I need to look up on YouTube too as well. I'm not sure if it came out yet.
There's a bottom firing speaker, and we do have stereo speakers. So there is one here bottom firing, and then there is one in the earpiece. At the top, we've got a SIM card tray, and we do have support for dual SIM cards. And then there's an IR blaster. On the right-hand side, there's the volume rockers as well as that power button that we looked at earlier that also doubles up as a fingerprint scanner. Now let's talk about the internals. This is another area where there's been some big improvements. We now have the Kirin 990 chipset compared to the 980 that the Mate X came with. What's the most interesting thing about the 990 is that it has integrated.
I got you, baby. About to. Oh, I'm gonna look it up here in a minute. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look it up before these next two videos.
Much more efficiency when it comes to power. You do have 8 gigabytes of RAM with 512 gigabytes of storage. Now let's talk about the software. So we do have EMUI 10.1, and this is built on top of open source Android 10. Now, yes, there is still the issue of the Google Play Store not being supported. I currently can't talk too much about that because this device is pre-release, so I'm not sure exactly what's going to be happening. Are we going to be getting an alternative? I'm hoping that this issue can be sorted out, but what I can tell you is about some of the multitasking features that have been built into EMUI 10.1 to take advantage of this larger display. So initially, if you do have an app open while the device is folded, when you do unfold it, that app is automatically going to expand and utilize the full display. What you can also do is drag from the side and hold. This is going to give you lots of shortcuts to apps. So say for instance, I want to open a web browser. I can do that here. And then if I want to split the screen and say for instance, have the gallery open as well, I can tap and hold and then drop that on the side. So now I've got 2 apps open here side by side. I can change the size. And in addition to that, if I want to open a third app, then I can have that floating on top of both of the currently open apps.
Real
estate that you have on.
He said, nah, I can't say shit.
You also have Huawei Share built in, so if you do have another Huawei device, maybe
What you think, Dr. T? You gonna get this phone?
then you're going to be able to quickly and easily transfer images and files.
I wonder if my nano leaps are gonna work. See if I can change the colors.
Quickly and easily. Now let's talk about the battery. So we do have a 40
I can't change.
battery. It's actually split into 2 because of the folding nature of this device. We'll have to see how long that's going to last. As mentioned, you do get that 55-watt supercharging, which is absolutely insane. Now, in terms of pricing and availability, I've not been given that information as yet. As soon as I have that, I'll be dropping that down below as a pinned comment as well as in the description. I'd assume it's going to be coming in similarly to what we had the Mate X as last year. And there we have it, guys. That is the Huawei Mate XS. A very interesting device for me.
That's kind of
Something that I've wanted to
crispy.
check out for a very long time. It's a very different approach to the foldable smartphone. It folds on the outside, which has a lot of advantages.
This still didn't come out. I mean, Vertigear's chair came out, but not this one.
wo draufgesetzt. Daniel, was ist denn das? Letztes Mal hatte er noch einen ganz anderen Stuhl. Der ist immer irgendwie anders, oder nicht? Das ist richtig. Wir haben halt beide AOG-Stühle hier auf der... Das hat nämlich nicht so. Da setze ich mich einfach mal rein.
I want it so bad.
Mich. Also ziehen wir uns die mal so, dass wir gerade sitzen. Schön locker.
This never released.
Und ja, das fühlt sich gut an und ist so vor allem nicht wackelig. Der hat auch eine VIP-Mechanik, eine Synchromechanik hat er leider nicht.
Hold on.
Das
We got some
So today
unbox
we got
therapy.
something called the Pix, possibly the most interesting backpack I've ever seen in my entire life. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm probably better off showing you. It's on Kickstarter right now. There's an app that goes with it. You're gonna get a lot of attention with something like this. They're calling it a smart animated backpack. I might even play some Tetris.
At the
on a
all right, dear.
backpack, which is not something I ever assumed I'd be doing. Meet Pix, the world's first smart animative backpack. Animative. Open the Pix backpack app and pair it. Okay, cool. We can do all this. Ooh, that's a nice little. That's a bit of with the yellow, the two-tone. This is what's going to be an interactive display. Let the people know how I'm feeling. It does have a laptop sleeve in it. Yeah, so you could go ahead and slide a laptop. That could do like a tablet or something. These are good because your back is there, so they should be secure. Oh, they included a power bank. Awesome. That'll make things easier. This looks like the laptop sleeve inside. Okay. We have this USB cable, which is the key indicator that something special is going to happen here alongside the app. Ooh, fully charged. Look at that. Jack, you know how satisfying that is? If this is on now, I don't see anything yet. Okay, application is requesting permission to turn on Bluetooth. Yeah, of course, we can do that. Let's pair. Oh, wow. Okay. There's immediately some options here in the collection. Some flames, a heart. Whoa! Holy! That is... Wow. That is much more vibrant than I expected. This is a very bright environment. I've told you that.
I want it. Have you seen Samsung's desktop display? Send it.
So those must be
Link it.
little individual LEDs. You see how it's animated there?
Hold on, let me
Okay. On fire.
let me open up your other links.
So Samsung ended up
This is the type of thing, this type of product that gets me excited.
I love unboxing therapy, so thank you for having culture in your blood. Hold on. Bro, I'm going to investigate this backpack. I don't think people understand how I love backpacks too as well.
Hot tamale. What about the ice cream cone? This looks like Willie Doo style right here. That's Willie Doo's choice right there. He just wants the ice cream cone. Let's try a different one. What's this? Oh, okay. This is like an ambient. This is the rave. This is for the rave crowd. Music festival. You guys are into music festivals. Will, Jack. Where were you? You were at Coachella? Yeah. Did you have a special outfit? He had a special outfit. If you click over here, there's a whole market. Cartoons, games, images. You got Mario. Like, okay, I get it. Let's see. It's free. They couldn't get the licensing rights there. Mario is just plumber. Is there a more famous plumber than Mario? Oh.
I want this.
Yes. You know what the youngsters are into, Jack? This is what they're into, okay? Is that a tongue sticking out? This is the one for Hilly Doo right here. That's you right there. Okay, here's Jack. There's a couple of widgets. Check this out. What do these do? Enable widget. Enter your text. Okay. Unbox. Oh! Now you're at the music festival advertising. I send Willie Doo out there. He's like,
I'm gonna do it at Almighty when I'm in public. Subtle plugs.
Have you tried Mountain Dew Red Octane? Whoa. So Will just told me this bike widget right here, it can actually
have signal indicators on the backpack when you're going to turn on your bike. Don't ask me how that's going to function. It doesn't work right now, probably because this is a prototype, but still, that's pretty wild. Obviously, this thing is probably going to expand as the Kickstarter wraps up eventually. I mean, there's so much stuff going on in there to choose from. It's pretty wild. Now, you can also do custom things, custom images or text, I guess. There it is. That's my my wonderful creation there. But the coolest part by far is the Tetris game. Oh, baby. And it's surprisingly decent. Wait, I messed that up. Okay, let me get the hang of it here. Okay, hang on, man. Let me get things going here. Oh, okay. What? No, man. No, I'm not doing that. You can't hold down. You gotta, like, tap it. This is crazy. Oh, my God. Okay, hang on. Ooh! Game over! You're gonna get some attention for sure. Holy. Double.
That was dope. Okay, next video.
To The Verge regarding my Galaxy Z Flip durability test video. And it's interesting what they said. They said the Galaxy Z Flip features an Infinity Flex display with Samsung ultra-thin glass. This first-of-a-kind UTG technology is different from other Galaxy flagship devices. While the display does bend, it should be handled with care. Also, the Galaxy Z Flip has a protective layer on top of the ultra-thin glass, similar to the Galaxy Fold. That last sentence there, telling us there is protection on top, explains exactly what we saw during the durability test. That protective layer was the layer that was getting damaged, and the glass is, well, maybe underneath all that somewhere. I never back down from a good challenge. It's time to find some glass. Let's get started. With the bumpers off, I noticed something that must have happened between filming of my last video and filming this video. While the phone was sitting on my desk, strange cracks started appearing along that center line of the hinge, and they appear to be below the surface of this protective layer. My phone has obviously been through quite a bit of stress, but this is still pretty strange. Now, some protections are removable, you know, like a helmet or sunglasses or a screen protector, but peeling off this particular protection reveals that it's not meant to be removed or replaced. This Galaxy Z Flip screen protector thing protects the screen in the exact same way your skin protects your internal organs. Remove it and you'll probably die, which is what we see happening here. Going full MKBHD on this Z Flip destroys the phone. Now, Samsung has offered a one-time screen replacement for broken screens for $119. After that, it'll be $499.
What the?
But it's nice of them to offer that first replacement so cheap. I'm not really sure how much we can call it a protective layer, though, when it's actually essential to the phone's survival. It's not really protecting the screen, it is the screen. So if the screen ever does get scratched at a level 2 with deeper grooves at a level 3, the damage
What
is
monitor?
permanent.
Oh, the Samsung one? We're gonna watch that one next. What I'm probably gonna do is start the new game maybe tomorrow. Cause it's dinner time and I'm starving.
I'll check out the guts here in a second. The body of the
But at least we know the internet works. I can have multiple things open. You love to see it.
During their launch event. Now, according to Samsung, we should start seeing the glass layer right underneath this integral epidermis. And, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is it. Little shards of cracked glass are covering the OLED layer, right underneath that plastic protection. Shiny little slivers of glass are scraping away with my tweezers, almost like little slivers of fiberglass. And it glistens just like broken glass does.
I'm not gonna lie, that's aesthetically pleasing.
Now full of it. Fair payback, I guess. Well played. There is glass in here. It's just not the physics-bending revolution we all kind of thought it would be. Now, Samsung did say that the top protective layer was similar to what they had on their first Galaxy Fold. So we'll take a look real quick. It looks like both screens have the same hard copper layer glued behind the display, probably for rigidity for the parts that aren't supposed to flex. Pulling off just the top transparent layer of the Fold reveals that indeed both phones have a similar top plastic protection, but underneath that layer the screens are constructed differently. We can see that the Fold has clean flexing plastic, while the Flip has the thin cracked layers of glass. I imagine the glass layer does help keep the display a tad more rigid than if it didn't exist at all, but it's still not what your fingers are touching when you use the phone. And it's important to remember that the outer layer of the new flip is still as soft as the original Galaxy Fold. Let's see if we can tear this thing open and find those dust-resistant bristles inside the hinge. I'll remove the black tape protecting the inner screen side of the hinge. This reveals a ton of screws, but not a whole lot else at the moment. We'll flip the phone around and come in from the other side.
Bro, that's so pleasing. I'm not even gonna lie.
The top piece of glass comes off easy enough. This got crushed during the bin test, which the Galaxy Z Flip performed very well in, actually. I'll disconnect the front screen ribbon like a little Lego. Remember, this is the tiny little display, the viewfinder thing that we can see when the phone is closed. Kind of fun. I'll bust out my heat gun for the bottom section of glass since it's still glued into place. The heat helps soften the adhesive, and I can pull the glass away from the phone body with my suction cup and pry tool. Setting that off to the side, we get our first look at the wireless charging pad in the bottom half of the phone. There is one screw holding down the black plastic bracket over top of the ribbon cable. Once that's unplugged, I can set the wireless charger off to the side, and I can start on the plastics. The bottom black plastics have 5 screws. Then that loudspeaker can come away from the phone body. You can see the white water damage indicator next to the gold contact pads, which let the speaker communicate with the motherboard. The top plastics have their own 6 screws, and then an additional 2 screws at the bottom of the large rectangular plate. And I'll be honest, this thing actually looks super awesome inside. Thumbs up for that. A transparent skin on this phone would look incredible. Let me know in the comments if I should bring the clear skin back again with D-Brand. I'll use my plastic pry tool to unplug the top battery, since we would hate to damage the phone or anything. I'll unclip the extension ribbons like little Legos, and then the side volume ribbon over here on the left. The top motherboard.
His voice is kind of... It kind of frightens me a bit, but back to unboxing therapy.
Excited because it's a little bit different. It's also something I've been thinking about for a while. Certain companies have approached something like this, but it's been hit and miss as far as how useful it's been. We're talking about the idea that your smartphone becomes your computing hub instead of your laptop, that it plugs into something like a laptop. It is the brains of the laptop, but the laptop displays an interface similar to what you're used to on a desktop computing platform, even though it's being powered from a smartphone. Now, Samsung most recently has been working on it in the form of their DeX product. Oh, HP tried to do it too. Man, it's been, I would say the more common implementation up until this point has been some sort of a dock that connects to a computer monitor and a mouse and keyboard, like a hub sort of. But
The
this
homie
one
Ryan,
today
what's up, baby?
gives you a traditional laptop.
The monitor is in the chat.
Keyboard display, a thing that you can fold.
Oh,
that
you
has
gave me the
no
wrong
guts.
thing.
The guts are in your phone.
We'll pick back on some of these later because it's almost time to eat dinner, but I will. Oh my god, it's beautiful. That curve is so pleasing. Fabric backside, okay. They got borderless display too. Did you know Lewis? I didn't know he was Canadian. I got all the love for the Canadians, baby. I'm gonna let you know that now. Built-in speakers. That was beautiful. that there was definitely beautiful. Well, I'm not ready to look at this video yet because I bought it and I want to be surprised, so. Damn, there's some videos on here, man. There's some videos. All right. We'll save some of them. I want to be surprised. I am going to up my bit rate. Sign into Anchor, by the way. I am. I'm getting ready to do it probably after I eat. After I eat, it's going to be my chill session. So I'm going to game a little bit with the boys and then catch back up. I'm so grateful that my internet works today. I'm so grateful. So my dog is complaining, which means my girlfriend must be here. So tomorrow, streaming again. It's going to be a longer stream. My internet works, so I'm here, so you will see me. In other news, that is it. That was the only reason why I wasn't here, because of my internet. Dr. T, thank you for the videos, my friend. I'm glad I'm making you feel better. We'll watch some more tech. If you find out some more interesting tech, you let me know, and we gon' watch it, okay? But yeah, other than that, that's it, peeps. I appreciate you for a great day back at streaming. I'm now in a 10 times better mood. Things are working, and we'll get back to being on schedule. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the little on-screen ads that we got. So next up is going to be the can box. We're moving up in the world. All right. Love you, peoples. See you in the next.